allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Most everybody's been here before, but if you need to, if we have an emergency, follow Ron. He'll be the first one out. We got an exit there and an exit there, and we got the fire department here, so we're in good shape. Please silence your phones and any other electronic devices, watches, etc. And with that, we will start with the minutes to the last meeting. This is the approval of the May 6th planning board meetings. Everybody get a chance to review them? Do I have a motion to approve? Motion approved by Adrian, seconded by Regina. Anybody have any other comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Okay. One abstention. Order of business will be as in the agenda. First two items are closing a public hearing, something I screwed up on and didn't do the last time. Do I have a motion to close PB 2026-101 and 102?
So moved.
Moved by Regina, seconded by Adrian. Any other comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Closed. PB 2026-0201 and 0202. Farmington Volunteer Fire Department. Close that public hearing. I have a motion. Moved by Adrian, seconded by Doug. Any other comments? All signify by saying aye, please. Aye. Okay, those two are done. Next one up, Adrian is moving to the audience. At the last meeting, we sent Ron off to create the part 2 of the environmental, full environmental assessment forms, and he has since done that. So what we have in front of us, I assume all of the planning board members, other than Adrian, of course, got to see that. And we have 2 items or 3 items that indicate that there are moderate to large impacts. It is section 17A, C, and section 18E. I'll read them. A is the proposed action land use components may be different from or in sharp contrast to current surrounding land use patterns. The other one is the proposed action is inconsistent with local land use plans or zoning regulations. And the last one is the proposed action is inconsistent with predominant architectural scale and character. So with that, Ron sent us an explanation of those, of how what he came up with. And what we need to do tonight is determine if we agree with moderate to large impact on those 3 items. And if we do, we need to send it off with the applicant to have him come up with mitigation plans for those 3 items. Does that make sense, Ron? Is that where we're at?
Couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah, it's what happens when you've been doing this too long. So Doug, what are your thoughts? I mean, those 3 seem to be reasonable because of the size and height of the proposed structure. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, with that immediate area, I would say, but I mean, there are other garages or over accessory structures, I guess, call them, you know, one of them, 2 houses down to them that would
Yep.
just taller than this. So, again, that's a ZBA thing.
Right.
Then I think that's better about them. I mean,
Right.
as far as secret goes, I mean, I don't see anything here that isn't something Adrian could then provide us.
Right, right. Because if we can mitigate these 3, then we can neg deck it and get it to the zoning board and let them do their thing. Tim, what are your thoughts? Right. And mitigation typically would be probably trees in most cases, right, Doug?
Something like that.
something like that. Cover it, to cover
Yeah, I
it.
mean,
Regina, what are your thoughts?
I agree with what's been said.
Right, okay. So I think we're all coming to the same conclusion, Adrian, that those three items can probably be mitigated by trees, not not starter trees, but decent sized trees that could, be there and then grow from there quickly, hopefully. And this just gets you through the seeker piece and then onto the ZBA where they will make their determination based on the variance requirements over there. Does that make any sense to you?
Where are we talking about?
Trees on, Ron, what are your thoughts on trees? Where? North and east?
Wherever there's adjacent residential structures to the north,
Right,
and also to the west.
north and west?
There's nothing, I don't think, to the east, is there?
There's a whole hedge line of trees pre-existing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be okay there, that would buffer it. Yeah. We talked one time about maybe using a berm and that, but Doug didn't think a berm and trees would be very good because it might cause runoff issues or something different. We might aggravate that in the area, so probably trees would be best on the north and west side to do that.
There is, in my packet I already submitted, there's photos of trees that have already been planted with their stuff, though,
Mhm.
and arborvitae's that are growing.
Well, we're probably gonna want, like we do all the time, we'll want a landscaping plan to see what you're gonna do for screening, put the landscaping plan
It was on
together.
the plan that was submitted from my engineer.
Okay, well, we'll have to look at that and make sure that there's enough detail there of enough trees to actually do the screening. Do that, otherwise we may have to add some. But again, we won't get into that until it comes back to us for preliminary, depending on what the ZBA does. So,
But that means we still gotta do step 3, or
well, first we've got to get through the secret. So if the mitigation of these that would bring it down to small impact or no impact of these three items is trees, and if we agree, and we can move that down with the comment that there will be tree planting that would mitigate these three items, then we can go ahead forward and send Ron off to do part 3, which would be a neg deck with these mitigation factors. And be able to get through the seeker, get that to them after our next meeting. And then, which I hope all three of you are gonna be here at the first June meeting, because I won't be here. So you guys can do that and then get it over to the ZBA and they can address their stuff on the June ZBA meeting. Theoretically. That makes sense, Ron?
I think it's right on.
Okay. You have a trailer that seems to be unregistered on the property. Storage? And that's gonna go away when the barn comes or the garage comes in? Okay. That's a code issue, I mean, there, of what you're doing.
don't have anything in the code that says we can't have storage containers on our land.
Okay? That's a code issue, not a planning board issue per se. Okay, Ron, anything else?
No, waiting
Okay.
to see where we go.
Okay, Paula?
I have nothing additional, to add to it. Up to this point, we haven't received any complaints about the trailer from, like, from
Neighbors or anything? Okay. Highway?
Nothing.
The only other thing with our engineer, there was a question about the driveway from the fire department on whether it was substantial enough to be able to handle the equipment that's needed to get back to the new location for the barn. Did you get a chance to review that? Is that good? The existing driveway, the new driveway? what they have provided for us? Is it adequate to tell us that we're in good shape?
So this application was never actually referred to us or provided to us for review or anything like that. So I can't give any definites on any of this. And also, a lot of this would be up to the town fire marshal to decide anyway, as far as like classification of the use and whatnot. That would determine the fire apparatus access requirements. But yeah, I would say it'd have to go first to fire marshal to determine.
Okay, well, in theory, we can do that during preliminary. And it's not critical. Well, no, you're right, it's final because it's a final site plan amendment. So we could do it during final, with engineering and the fire department, make sure we're in good shape with that. But it may be a little premature. We still gotta wait for the ZBA to do their thing, so.
My engineer turned in the thing saying.
Turned in some information. I just don't know if that's what is enough. So, but we'll look at that when we get to doing the final review. So, does that make sense, Ron? Okay, so with that, do I have a motion to approve the part 2, moving the 3 moderate to large to small impact, with the inclusion of a landscaping plan that provides tree coverage? No, what? What do you need?
You can't condition it. You've asked for that information,
Uh-huh,
okay? You asked for a landscaping plan,
okay,
okay? And until you get that information, you don't have anything to go in the direction you're going.
okay, so what we need to do is just have the applicant come up with a landscaping plan which provides for screening on the north and west sides with trees large enough to do that. And then once we receive that, then we can send Ron off to do part 3,
If you accept it.
if it's acceptable to him.
Right. But that, like I said, that was all introduced at the beginning with my plan, when I sent the updated one in with the screening already there. That's pre-existing on the 2 sides.
But I don't think there was enough screening to address the north and the east or west side. Correct.
Not for at least 15, 20 years.
Right. So we need to have a plan that's gonna provide probably larger trees on the north and the west side, so we need to have an updated plan that shows a better landscaping plan, which would mitigate these 3 conditions. Without that, we're talking no mitigation for 20 years. You know what I mean? So you gotta have to address that, get that back to us, and maybe if we get it back quick enough, we can address it at the next meeting and then send Ron off to do part. Did I say that right?
Hey, you gotta make your determination based on,
Okay, so we don't want to make the determination tonight because we want to see the updated landscaping plan with taller trees, to say the least. Does everybody agree to that? Doug?
Yeah, I mean, I want to revisit that original one, this original.
Right.
Just, with that additional information Ron provided on these other areas, and let's see what they're screening, what's the.
Okay. Okay, we'll get that feedback back to Ron if you get a chance to look at that, and we'll go from there. And just in case for some reason you think it's enough, but I don't remember it being enough to do any screening. Okay, so we need to get that stuff from you, Adrian, and
The landscape plan.
a landscaping plan that would mitigate the north and west sides with enough size of trees that would break that up so that your neighbors wouldn't see it. Okay? Doesn't mean it has to go all the way.
That road to the west count already that's pre-existing behind the houses off 8 Road, or no?
only for those houses over on 8 Road.
Okay.
That area is very visible from County Road 8 and from Hook Road or Halt Road.
Yeah.
County Road 8, yeah, it's Holton Road now.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, thank you.
we good?
That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Adrian. Okay, you can come back up.
Yeah, you gotta continue the hearing, Ed, to,
It is a public hearing. So do we have anybody in the audience that wants to speak for or against this application?
online.
Online, anyone want to speak for or against this application? Okay. Do I have a motion by the board to continue this public hearing till the next meeting? Moved by Doug, seconded by Tim. Any other comments? Clerk, take a roll call vote, please.
Lucia? Aye. Beats?
Aye.
Regina Susan?
Aye.
And the chair.
Aye. Okay. I guess we could have done that by voice vote, but okay.
Question quick.
Go ahead.
How far down on the west side are we looking for stuff? All of it?
I would,
I mean, I was trying not to put trees next to a structure that's gonna fall on at some point, but I mean, I'm just trying to understand what you're looking for.
Something's gonna screen the whole thing, so that, I mean, you don't need the neighbors, you want to break it up so the neighbors don't see it. So probably the whole side. Okay? All right. Next item up, there's no new public hearings. There's a public meeting where we're gonna look at the North American Sales Rental Flex Space, to see if it's acceptable to move forward for public review. Ron? I don't think we have anybody here for that, right?
Online.
online, I think they're,
Online, we got somebody online wants to just give us a quick overview. I mean, we've got all the documents.
Hi, I'm Michaela. I've probably met with a couple of you before. I'm attending on behalf of Jacob Berardi, the owner. He is out of town for work, unfortunately.
Uh-huh.
I thought someone from Marathon was going to be joining as well to kind of lead. I don't know if that's still happening.
What's that?
Marathon.
Marathon.
Nobody's here, right? You know, you're not here for this?
I am here for this.
Yeah, you're here.
Oh, okay. You're talking to someone else. Sorry.
Oh, you just checked, there's nobody else in the room. So, I mean, all we're doing here is we're just declaring this ready for public hearing, for public review. It's a preliminary site plan. We typically schedule a public hearing.
Okay.
it's in the resolution.
Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, we have it in the resolution here. It's accepted for public review. It's classified as an unlisted action. It's subject to approvals from Ontario County Department of Public Works. Did you get to see the resolution?
I did not.
So the other condition is coordinated review of this action is to commence, and we'll end at noon on June 10th. Planning board declares its intent to be the lead agency. Town staff is directed to prepare notice, project notification review letters, refer to the county planning. There is to be a public hearing scheduled for June 17th. And there'll be a legal notice prepared. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward resolution. Did you have any problems with anything I read?
No, you said the meeting on June 17th. What time is that at? Or the public hearing?
7 o'clock. 7
11.
o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock on June 17th.
Perfect. Okay.
I don't have any.
That'll be the public hearing for the preliminary site plan. Okay, staff, Ron.
Okay, did we say we were gonna do a coordinated review on that?
It says there's a coordinated review
Yes, May 22nd to June.
to June 10th. Coordinated review, yeah. And it's got to go to county planning. Classified as an unlisted action. What the resolution says.
I don't have it, so that's my problem.
Oh, well, he's got it.
If something begins on May 22nd, then it ends at noon on Wednesday, June 10th, that doesn't provide for the minimum
30 days.
30 days. That's an error.
I didn't write it, Ron.
I believe it should be July 10th.
Then we can't do the public hearing on June 17th.
You can declare your intent on the 17th.
Change.
So what needs to be changed here, Ron?
What needs to be changed here is the starts on May 22nd with notification of those involved agencies. Under,
22nd, it goes to the involved agencies.
so 30 days from that is when you can declare your intent, or you declare your intent. You have declared your intent at its meeting tonight to be designated lead agency.
We can't do a designation until July 1st.
Right.
Or we can have a public hearing on July 1st.
Right.
We'll do our actual declare ourselves lead agency. And we can do it. We don't want to do it before we got all the inputs, but we'll do it on July 1st. We'll declare ourselves lead agency. We'll have the public hearing and we'll go from there. So we're going to change this to end,
I don't know why it is.
it's, well, we might as well end it June 22nd. It's 30 days.
Yep.
And then we'll go here, instead of June 17th, we'll go July 1
July 1st is the public hearing
is the public hearing, correct?
at 7 p.m. Okay.
That makes sense, Ron?
More sense now.
Okay. Anything else, Ron?
No, I
Okay.
didn't catch.
That's
that.
okay. That's okay. Paula,
Nothing additional at this time.
and this one,
Yep, on this one.
on this one,
Yeah, when you're ready for staff report.
and we're ready for what?
Staff reports.
Oh, no, we're not doing staff reports yet. We're still doing this one here.
Okay.
Anything from highway? Nothing? Nothing engineering? Anybody on the board have anything else? I have a motion to waive the reading and approve this resolution with changes of item 4 to June 22nd and item 8 to July 1st. Moved by Adrian, seconded by Regina. Any other comments? Clerk, take a roll call vote, please.
Luca.
Aye.
Pete.
Aye.
Gina Souza. Aye. Adrian Velez. Ed Hamdinger.
Aye. Okay, got that done. So you're good to go. July 1st for you to be here, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item up is staff reports. Ron?
Okay, first up is Bridges for Brain Injury.
Yep.
They have retained Marathon Engineering
Right.
to provide a final site plan of existing conditions out there.
Right.
As you know, part of what Laura Donaldson had submitted was some hand-drawn areas for parking of cars and things
Yep.
of this nature. There's more than that involved. They're looking at maybe having to cut some of those, I wish Scott hadn't left, some of those trees out there because they're kind of low-hanging fruit over the driveway, and the fire truck's a little bit bigger than a standard car, so these kinds of things will be looked at. They will give us information on the septic for the existing single-family home. As they've indicated, they want to have some birthday parties in there and things that are going to be attracting more people for the load that that system might have been designed for.
Right.
And then there's also the question of a sign identifying that it's bridges for brain injury under the code, things that need to be in the site plan process in order for it to be approved, street signs.
Right.
And what they're doing with lighting and all that good stuff. So they're going to be working on that, preparing that, and they expect to have that for the June 11th submission to be placed on the July 1st planning board agenda.
Okay.
And then,
And what we're going to do is approve.
well, when they grant, as I said last meeting, when they approved the temporary use permit,
Right.
one of the conditions was that they had to have a final site plan approval from this board. When that final site plan gets approved, then that 2-year period commences for the temporary use permit,
Okay. So we got to go through preliminary and then final?
just final.
Just final. Okay.
Because all you're doing is,
Just saying this is what's there.
this is what's there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now, that got confused last fall by the application that was submitted that identified the full build out.
Right.
All those beautiful buildings they want to put there and everything. With this final site plan of the existing conditions,
Mm-hmm.
they will then be able to bring more people to the site
Right.
for helping fund raise the investments that they want to make out there.
Cool. And they're going to add the new alpaca
Yep.
Area that they put in.
Yep.
We'll be able to approve that too.
Okay, next up is Monarch Manor, section 3.
Yes.
The final subdivision and site plans for those 26 lots over there on the corner of New Michigan and Town Line Road. I went through the overall site plan, identified a number of things that needed to be changed. I went through section 3, what they're calling final site plan. That needs to be a number of changes made to it. And I'm asking for, I think it's 6 pages worth of preliminary comments that the water and sewer superintendent and I went over today. The highway superintendent needs to weigh in because there are some things there that deal with stormwater that his predecessors had asked for back in 2015. Well, you probably still in high school, man. Nope. But anyways, we'll get the departments to review it. Then I'll send it out. It'll be copied to the planning board so that you know what it is that he needs to provide for us. There are things on there that were never done, that need to be done. There were things on there that decisions were made to not do. And we are clarifying some of the things that he thought he needed to do that we can't find anywhere in town records. So it took a while to go through all that today.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Next up is there's been 2 committees created by the town supervisor.
Yes.
As a result of the e-bike legislation being denied. E-bikes aren't going to go away.
No.
They were out here in the parking lot tonight. They were out on County Road 41 and they've seen them all over the place.
I hate to tell you this. I don't care what the code says. It isn't going to change anything.
I know.
People are still going to do what they need to do and ride where they want to ride. And
It'll only affect,
even though you can't ride under 16, they're still going to do it. Huh?
I was denied the
Because they need to get more detail into, it wasn't where they wanted it to be. So they set up a committee to review it, and Tim's gonna be on that committee. I'll be on the accessory structure one.
Right. And that's another committee that will be organized and meeting. Next up is Farmington Meadows. We've received an email from the owners that they would like some street names provided to them. They're willing to consider names of historical significance, for example, which is interesting. And as soon as we have that
You got a new
information,
historian to come up with something.
there you go. And then the next is, I just want to report that we're going to have an opening on the Conservation Board. That opening, if you know anybody that wants to fill it,
Okay, cool.
it's being caused by the loss of a member from the Conservation Board that is moving on to bigger and better things.
Cool.
And the County Board of Supervisors tomorrow night will be appointing. Well, I'm sure he's going to be very busy.
I mean, I don't think he was planning to if the one.
That, I'd love not to have an opening,
Yeah, I mean, unless you have any reason for.
none whatsoever. That was just a segue into, why don't you announce what's going on?
Then he.
I believe Tom Harvey, as director of planning, was a member of the planning board in Gorham for
Zoning
a
board.
number of years.
Zoning Board Chairman.
Yeah, I thought he was, so I think he could, if he wants to, I think he could stay there.
We'd love to have him.
Cool. Congratulations to him, by the way.
Yeah.
Object to him leaving the conservation board?
Pardon?
Can I object to him leaving the conservation?
I think it's gonna be something we have to pause deck and go through the environment. And you tell him that,
There you go.
oh, congratulations, by the way. All right, that's all I have for now.
Cool. Wittenshire, are they ever gonna get that open or whatever it's going to be?
Oh, man.
At least, the lawyers ever gonna get together?
Well, the zoning board of appeals Monday night passed all 4 area variances. One of them was with a condition. That condition was that they had to install, provide to Sean the yellow triangular pedestrian crossing signs for the existing sidewalk that's over there. Or highway, that's a crosswalk across the Intail. I'll get it straightened here in a minute. But anyhow, as soon as I get the signed resolutions from Elizabeth, and they get sent out, they're gonna try to push this so they can get it acted on next Tuesday. If not, it'll be the first meeting in June.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we hope the bridge stays together.
Yeah. All right,
There's one other thing I forgot, and that
okay,
is they are going to be submitting the preliminary revised drawings for the fire station number 2.
okay,
Those drawings are, once signed, then they can get the final site plan approvals that they need. They're looking at trying to get those in by, in time for the July 15th meeting.
why would they need finals to go for funding and just preliminaries aren't enough to go to do their funding and all that good stuff?
It is, but they want the funding, the finals out of the way so that they can.
They can come in and change finals if they have to,
I think
5 years from now, whenever they get
it
their.
might
funding.
have something to do with the lending institution wanting to know that it is a finally approved site.
Oh, okay, Yeah.
I'm
you
just
never know.
speculating.
Yep. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's a
Paula?
promise.
We've got signatures tonight for that Enright project, so next we'll be getting a final. Virtual church, we have a final application in for, so that'll be on for,
She said virtual church, but it is not a virtual church site plan. It is a residential house.
Exactly. With a barn.
it's owned by Virtual
Yeah.
Church LLC. We also have a potential, a lot line adjustment over on Sheldon Road for the,
I will be here until the 29th. 28th. And then I'll be gone for a week and then back. So if you need anything signed during that week, Doug can pop over and do it. Otherwise, you can hold it for me till I get back.
okay.
Okay? Anything else?
Did you get that drawing to?
Yeah, I just had him sign
Okay.
here.
I already signed. Yep. Anything else?
No, I think that's,
Okay, highway.
Um, just another warning, I won't be here in town for the first planning board meeting for June. I will be in Ithaca at Highway School that,
Okay,
through Wednesday. And our stone and oil projects are going to commence the week of June 15th through the 18th. Victor and us are scheduled back to back. Midland will be starting in Victor on the 15th. And then once they're completed, they'll be to us. The roads that are getting stone and oiled are going to be Colette Road from Hook Road to County Road 8. Crowley Road from Hook Road to Brownsville. And New Michigan from County Road 41 to Town Line Road.
well, that ought to make all those people happy.
Yes. That intersection is going to be a challenge.
Yeah,
So, we'll get it done. We always do. The immediately following the stone and oil, will be a fiber mat application on Hook Road from 96 down to just past Curran where we ended our project last year. So that way all of Hook Road will have that completed. Midland's doing the same thing. We're doing that application as well. They're just transitioning from the oil stone into that project. So that's what will be happening between now and the next meeting that I am here. I believe that is all of the real significance that is coming up. Just a few things that we've been doing.
standard stuff. Okay, thanks. Engineering.
Nothing to report tonight.
Okay. Anybody in the public like to make any comments? Okay, board, Jim. Oh, Doug?
Just wondering if we've got any updates on the AJ glass.
The answer is not quite yet.
we have a meeting scheduled
Okay.
about it.
Next Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock.
And they're probably gonna wanna come in for a special use permit for outside storage, I believe. So that ought to be interesting. So,
Okay.
yeah, there's a lot there. I've been on Caden.
Yeah.
And Caden was out with having a baby. I don't know why that would affect anything. But, yes, so,
Okay.
okay, anything else?
So.
Adrian? Regina? I continue to, like I said, work with staff on what needs to be done. We did get a request for a meeting with the folks from the solar farm that had the residents over there on Mount Payne. I don't plan to go out there. She wants to show us it's a quiet neighborhood. Quiet neighborhood, I need to go visit her place to see that and drive by. So we'll have some folks, coming out to see, yes, when we get that thing rolling. When's that one supposed to come back up for public hearing?
June 17th, I think.
17th of June.
17th of June. Okay, I'll be back for that one. Good. Okay,
Yeah, just, a reminder, if any of you do decide to go out there, no more than two
no
of
more
you,
than 2 of you at a time.
okay?
She made a request for Friday,
Yeah, we're not gonna do,
right?
unless somebody else. wants.
Five.
I'm not. Yeah, you hope you're not gonna be here. You can never get the hell out of here. You guys are all working, so, Kim, you don't work, I know that. Okay, anybody else? Yes, Ron.
Yeah, we have a conservation board member
I saw that.
that's here tonight.
Yep,
And I would like to perhaps have a placard prepared that says Conservation Board.
Yep.
ECB, Environmental Conservation.
yep.
So that they can join us
Yeah,
at the table.
You could have certainly sat at the table tonight.
And the other thing I would like to have you ask
Mhm.
is that the Farmington Fire Department rep have because we got enough room here at this big table.
Yep, we can
For the-
pop a couple more people there. As long as Sean doesn't spread his wings, we're in good shape.
He's flapping over there.
There you go. All right,
Yeah,
all right, John, you want to put in a request for a couple placards for fire and ECD? So we can get them in there and get them up at the table? Thank you. Anybody else have anything? That's it. Motion to adjourn by Regina, seconded by Adrian. All in favor? Aye. All right.